After Liam lost his father, some changes in the behavior of his mother Clara and his husband Ethan started to show some differences. In particular, Ethan was expected to be somewhat intimate with his mother-in-law Clara. This raised their suspicions. On March 14th, she examined Liam's social media account, which he had left open. They came back to Ethan and Clara's messages from their hometown. The messages proved that the gap between them had crossed its limits. Furious, Liam called his mother and then Ethan to account. He threatened, "You will pay dearly for this." Ethan disappeared for a while after the threat, but 2 weeks later he returned home again. Meanwhile, Liam told Jacob about the situation. Jacob decided to stand up to Ethan to support his nephew. On March 26th, Liam and Jacob went to the house where Ethan lived. They had knives in their hands. Ethan was washing the car in front of the house with his father Adam. He sensed the approaching danger that Liam and Jacob were in. When he realized that Liam and Jacob had arrived in a rage, he reached for the gun he had with him for fear of death. Soon, everything spiraled out of control. Ethan opened fire with his gun, and one of the bullets hit Jacob. Jacob died on the spot. Liam was injured but managed to survive. When the police arrived on the scene, all family members were personally accused. Ethan said that he had fired in self-defense, while Clara was in great emancipation over what had happened. The court found Ethan not guilty of manslaughter. Liam and Adam also appeared before the judge on charges of wounding. Clara's statement to the prosecution revealed a darker explosion in the case. Clara said that Ethan had forced himself on her by threatening her. Ethan, however, denied this claim in court, claiming that everything happened by mutual consent. This incident clearly showed how a family can be irrevocably destroyed, and how a forbidden situation can lead to catastrophic consequences. As the court proceedings continue, nothing is ever the same for those left behind. Liam has given up controlling his anger as he experiences the pain of losing his day and the devastation caused by his mother and Ethan. Ethan had been arrested, and Clara was in a women's shelter. But Liam is a violation of the regime that everyone who caused their family to end up like this must pay. While the court process was going on, Liam's traumas were deepening day by day. His mother, Clara, continues to update her son with letters from the shelter. But Liam even tolerated them reading these letters. "My mother cannot be a woman who tore our family apart," he said there. Meanwhile, Ethan's lawyer pointed out the discrepancies in Clara's testimony to prove his client's innocence. In court, Ethan's defense was quite effective. "My relationship with Clara was consensual. I didn't threaten her. I didn't coerce her. It was all of her own volition. Liam and Jacob came to kill me. If I hadn't defended myself, I wouldn't be alive today." As the court proceedings dragged on, a desire for revenge grew inside Liam, fueled by the document of justice. One night, his trunk, where he kept members' memories, was opened. In the photos shared, there was an old clock and mementos of days gone by. This was the history of the family, of the father. It was not my duty to appreciate it, I thought. But the desire for revenge overrode that thought. He decided that Ethan had a plan to hurt his family. Liam targeted Ethan's father, Adam, and wanted his family to feel the same pain. But as this plan was being implemented, the encounter with Ethan's young child changed everything. Ethan's 4-year-old daughter Mia ran up to Liam with an innocent look on her face and said, "Are you Uncle Liam? My father told me to forgive you." This plunged Liam into a deep silence. For a moment he realized that all his anger was for nothing, that there was no point in continuing this cycle. Liam abandoned his plan from the start and went to the police and told them everything. At the end of the trial, Ethan was sentenced to prison for murder. Liam tried to rebuild his life in the life he had lived, but the incident had left deep scars on both him and their families. While Clara was trying to impress herself at the shelter, Liam was looking for ways to start a new life. The innocence of Ethan's child Mia became a new ray of hope for Liam. This incident was a lesson for everyone. Mistakes can destroy a whole family, not just those who make them. Months had passed, but Liam's resentment and regret had not subsided. Even Ethan serving his sentence and Clara living a quiet life in a shelter couldn't free Liam from the burden of the past. The events had profoundly changed not only his life, but the lives of everyone involved in some way in the tragedy. Liam decided to join a therapy group. At first he found it difficult to talk, but one day he remembered the words of Ethan's daughter Mia. "Daddy told me to forgive you." This innocence made her realize that she needed to forgive herself. She realized that she could not change what happened in the past, but she could rebuild her future. During this time, Clara wrote her son many letters, but never received a reply. During one of the therapy sessions, Liam opened one of Clara's letters. In every word, Clara expressed both her regret and her wish for forgiveness from her son. At the end of the letter, she wrote, "Please give me a chance to tell you the truth. Son, I don't want to lose you," she wrote. Liam decided to confront his mother. When he arrived at the shelter, Clara was torn between surprise and joy when she saw her son. They looked at each other for a long time without speaking. Liam said, "I want to know the truth, but don't lie to me. Tell me how you made my father like this. How you tore us apart," Liam said. In tears, Clara told the whole story. She acknowledged her own mistakes, her fears, and the consequences of her choices. "But I want you to know," Clara said, "that nothing has eased the pain of losing your father. I destroyed our family in that one moment, and even if you can't forgive me, I'm trying to be honest with you." This confrontation was a turning point for Liam. Even though he was still angry at his mother, the heavy burden was lifting. He would never forget what Ethan had done, but he decided not to live his life in his shadow. A year later, Liam went to visit Ethan's daughter, Mia. Her innocence was a symbol of a new beginning in Liam's life. He brought Mia a gift, the old watch her father had bequeathed to her. "This is the last remnant of all the ties between your father and I. But it's yours now, Mia," he said. As Liam slowly began to let go of the weight of the past, he realized the complexity of life and that people have to grow up facing their mistakes. What happened would never be forgotten, but he knew that life had to go on somehow.